All right, so let's wrap this up and talk about predictions for Saturday's game with Oklahoma and Ole Miss. The Sooners currently sitting. I'm recording Thursday afternoon. The Sooners are sitting as a 5.5 point favorite. Over under right now is 52.5. I'll just give you my prediction, and then I'm going to tell you why. I've got Oklahoma winning this game 28-21, which would hit the under. But again, let me tell you why I feel like that's a good pick, right? First of all, we've talked about Oklahoma's defense, and this is really where the Sooners have separated themselves this season. They've been elite, okay, averaging just 9.4 points per game, roughly 3.7 yards per play. That kind of dominance doesn't just help you win games; it covers spreads in close matchups. Ole Miss is used to feasting on weaker defenses and racking up stats against mid-tier conference teams. But this is a different front from Oklahoma. They're physical, they're disciplined, and they're very good at forcing long yardage situations. Their ability to control first downs and collapse rushing lanes, it makes it tough for Ole Miss to sustain drives or to rack up quick scores. Then there's the home field advantage for Oklahoma. Norman is loud. The crowd's going to have energy. Oklahoma Memorial Stadium really kind of rattles teams when they rely on tempo and pre-snap reads. The Sooners fans have become really good at disrupting that. And that's Ole Miss's MO under Lane Kiffin. A few false starts, a couple miscommunications, and suddenly that fast-paced offense turns into a grind. And that's why a 5.5 point cushion feels fair in this game, especially in a game that may see momentum swings, but not a ton of high-scoring bursts. Let's talk about game script for just a second. If Oklahoma can grab an early lead and just, let's say just by a touchdown, they can shift into possession control mode. This limits opportunities from the Rebels. It shortens the game. It forces Ole Miss to abandon their run game, and it plays right into Oklahoma's strengths. I think that's why a 7-point margin in my 28-21 score, it feels super realistic. The Sooners can control the clock with their run game. They can let their defense protect a one-score lead. On the total, 52.5 over under, I think this game screams tempo tug of war. Ole Miss wants to run up the pace, right? But Oklahoma wants to disrupt it. So limiting explosive plays and keeping the game methodical, Oklahoma forces Ole Miss into those longer 8 to 10 play drives. Those are the type of drives that chew up clock, but they don't always end in scores. They don't always end in touchdowns. Combine that with a balanced run-leading offense when you're ahead, and you've got under territory written all over this game. I think both defenses are better than advertised. Ole Miss's defense they've tightened up in red zone situations, especially on third down, which means even Oklahoma, when the Sooners move the ball, the scoring can still stall just to field goals or long drives, that take time off the clock before you get a touchdown. Then you got to add in weather. It's going to be raining. Some mild temperatures in October, but it's going to be raining. Of course, that's what the weatherman tells us, at least. So that's perfect for a game that's going to be played between the hashes. What I mean is it's going to be a run-heavy game, I believe. So everything, to me, when you look at this game, it points to a clean, physical matchup, but definitely not a shootout. Then look at this. Okay, let me talk one more thing before we close out. Oklahoma is 4-2 against the spread in their last 6 games when they're favored by less than a touchdown. And the under has hit in 5 of the last 7 games as well against ranked opponents. So Ole Miss, they've gone under 3 straight road games against top 15 defenses. So when you look at these trends, I think it reinforced what the stats and the matchups already suggest. That this is going to be a grind-out game, not a fireworks show. So here's what I'm saying. Oklahoma 28, Ole Miss 21. That covers the spread and hits the under. The outcome here assumes that Oklahoma wins this game by winning the turnover battle. I think that's going to be a big thing on Saturday. I think Ole Miss is going to hit a few big plays. I think they're going to stall on multiple drives. I think Oklahoma's offense scores efficiently while the defense keeps the Rebels from getting really living on explosive moments, I guess I should say. Not flashy, but disciplined. It's going to be exactly the type of game that Brent Venables wants. It's going to be the type of game that the Sooner fans want when you're talking about proving that you're built for SEC competition. So that's going to wrap it up. That's our preview. Oklahoma versus Ole Miss, Saturday, 11 a.m. kickoff. Remember, it's not just another game. It's a statement. It's a matchup for both programs that will define their identities. I've given you the breakdowns on the matchups. I've given you the keys to the victory. I've given you why 28-21 Oklahoma makes sense. Now you do me a favor. Make sure you subscribe. Leave a rating for us. Share this episode with your fellow Sooner fans. I'll be back, obviously, Sunday. Hopefully we're celebrating a win. I'm going to give you analysis. I'm going to give you takeaways. I'm going to give you what this means in the SEC race. But until then, enjoy your weekend, everybody. Enjoy your football. Boomer Sooner.